Welcome, everyone. This is Craig Fisher, and I am here with my co-hosts for today, Taylor Jones and Andre Boulay. How's everybody doing? How y'all doing? Great day to be alive, right?
Pretty fantastic.
Beautiful day, yes.
That's right. We've got a heat advisory in North Texas. We're loving life. We're going to be in the hundreds for the next few weeks, probably until October is how it goes around here in North Texas. Everything's fine. Everything's great.
Can't wait to visit next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Today we are talking about how to avoid no-shows and save time and money hiring for hourly workers, franchises, restaurants, you name it. All these things that our lovely sponsor for today, Connect, helps us to do as business owners. And one of the things that I'm most excited about for today is we're not only going to talk through some best practices, we're going to show you the Connect product a little bit and some of the great ways it can help you. I recently made the announcement that I was getting more involved with Connect. Connect is one of my TalentNet Live sponsors, and I have been an advisor to them. And once Andre finally corralled me into coming into the office to see the product, I said, how can I get more involved? This is really cool. So I'm serving as the Chief Marketing Officer now for Connect. And we appreciate Connect for supporting this broadcast. And we're going to be coming to you on a fairly regular basis with just great ideas for how to brand yourself better in the market to potential employees, how to stay engaged with them, communicate better, and do a great job on social sharing with your job descriptions, you name it, and how to use a little bit of automation and AI to make that happen better. So first and foremost, I want to welcome back Taylor Jones. She has been on maternity leave. Taylor, tell us how it's going with you. What's happening?
So me and my fiance welcomed our first baby back in June. So she's a little over 2 months now. And man, it's just been amazing. I was just in the newborn bubble, soaking up every little second, but I'm happy to be back at work and get things rolling. We have a lot of exciting things happening at Connect, and I'm excited for all the people here on this webinar to learn and see what we're all about.
All right. Tell us a little bit about Elle.
So her name is Elle McCoy Signs. She has dark hair. She came out with a lot of hair. We were shocked. And beautiful blue eyes. We're just so in love. You know, a lot of people say she looks like my fiance, which rude, but you know, I chose him, so I guess that's fine.
I love hearing that. All right, Andre, what's going on with you?
Nothing much bigger than Taylor and Elle. It's hard to compete with that. That was our leading slide. We had our revenue stand-up call on Monday. We were so happy to have Taylor back, and the photos are awesome. So thank you so much for being back. We're super excited to have you back. I'm our Chief Revenue Officer for Connect. Very excited to have Craig on board. Very similar. I was on our advisory board last year. And again, every time our CEO, Michael Native, showed me the product, what it could be, it really, really stuck out of what this could be and where it really met a modern workforce and what companies are wanting to get to. And again, joined in January, and we've had a nonstop ride. It's been wonderful to add a lot of customers. But what I've loved is seeing the customer success once we sign a new customer, what Taylor and her team deliver as well, too. So we are really seeing kind of an inflection point where companies are realizing that the wave of technology isn't coming, it's already here. And so the way to really stay afloat of that and stay in front of the wave instead of get swept away by the wave is to adapt some modern practices to attract and engage a modern workforce. And, we've got story to tell today, but we're really excited to share some of those best practices. This is sponsored by Connect, so we'll definitely show a little of Connect, but we'll try and give you a lot of unilateral things you can take back to your team, whether you're a head of talent acquisition or you're an owner of a franchise, and really help improve your practice. And of course, we love to keep the conversation going afterwards. And so that's the fun part about these. We have a lot of good side conversations afterwards, and we'd love to talk to you and share more with you. So thanks for having me.
Cool. So one of the things that most interested me about Connect is they are based in Dallas, which is my backyard. So that's convenient for me. And, I own another business or 6 or 7. I do a lot of things, right? So I run the TalentNet Live conferences, and I run a consulting business called TalentNet Media, where we help employers to solve candidate experience and conversion issues with job applications. And technology problems and all kinds of the connectivity all there in between. And so Connect being local really kind of fits in with the business that I'm already doing because they are, like I say, a good sponsor. And one of the benefits of listening today is that if you go to bit.ly/Connect Live, CNECTLIVE, and you are at all interested in attending the TalentNet Live Conference on November 8th, you can use code TalentNet. I was going to say you're eligible for an Amazon discount or gift card, but if you use the code TalentNet in that gift card slot, you'll get a free ticket to TalentNet Live November 8th. So if you want to sign up for let's call it a demo of the Connect platform, free tickets to TalentNet Live, that's $100 value. Otherwise, you'll be in a drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card with code CONNECT, CNECT. So I would love to see you at the TalentNet Live conference. Taylor will probably be there. Andre will definitely be there. Connect is a sponsor. And we have several other wonderful sponsors and a great group of people, your peers. And it's our 15th anniversary edition of TalentNet Live. Can you believe, Andre, we've been doing this for 15 years in Dallas?
It's crazy. I think the first half of my career was a head of talent acquisition. The second half has been in the work tech space. And it is by far one of the best conferences. I would tell you that if I wasn't attending. But again, the ability to interact with so many CHRO and hiring leaders and business owners, and then have the roundtables the second half of the day just to like hear what common problems are and have a group of 6 to 8 really tackling that together. You learn so much. You build really good relationships in the community. So if nothing else today, we'd love to show you a little bit more and give you, $100 plus value of attending the conference, but an immeasurable amount of opportunity to learn from your peers as well too. So we're excited to give back today as well. So we look forward to sharing a lot with you guys afterwards.
All right. So that's bit.ly/Connect, CNECT Live, LIVE. And you can use code TalentNet to get a free ticket there. And it's pretty straightforward. Post something in the comments if that is not working for you for whatever reason. But the demo is quick. In fact, I'm getting pretty good at this. I can demo this platform in about 5 minutes total, and show the value of how easy it is for owners and hiring managers to use, and for candidates to create an amazing profile. And that takes literally 30 seconds, which is really cool. And they can send that to any employer they like. It's always private. So, all right, let's get into our topic of conversation for today. We're going to talk about how restaurant owners, restaurant managers, franchise owners, hiring managers of any kind, hiring hourly workers, even professional services organizations can save time and avoid no-shows. So what's the problem with no-shows, first of all, right? So a few things. We, as employers, make it pretty easy for job candidates to do an easy apply through Indeed. That doesn't give us very good information. It doesn't really do a good job of allowing candidates to opt in properly to a job, because we're not asking knockout questions very well there. And we get a lot of candidates that aren't accurate. They're not in the area, or for whatever reason, they're not going to be a good candidate for this job. And so we have to sift through a lot of stuff. And then they apply to too many jobs. And we as employers don't do a great job of communicating back to them quickly because we get so many applications. And then when it comes time to schedule an interview or even have someone show up for their first day of work, a lot of time has passed and there hasn't been great communication. And so we get a lot of no-shows, and we've wasted a lot of time looking at candidates that aren't a fit. All right. So Taylor, you've been involved with Connect longer than anyone else. What do you see as some of the main issues there? I've just described it a little bit, but tell us from your point of view, sort of what you've seen.
I will say one of the most frustrating aspects of job hunting is this black hole experience where applications seem to disappear without a trace. I think Connect eliminates this by providing candidates with, real-time feedback on their applications. As a new mom, really any busy parent or person, We have limited time to invest in job searches, and we benefit from this transparency that Connect offers. So, just providing this timely updates on the application status, allowing candidates and employers both to stay informed and engaged throughout the process without unnecessary stress or uncertainty. I think this provides a huge value in reducing no-shows in the restaurant industry or any industry, really.
So, Andre, I think you've got a couple of good examples where some Connect customers have solved the no-show problem.
Yeah, I was going to, Taylor kind of speaks to a problem. I think if you're on this call right now and you're a restaurant owner, I think you all know the pain of no-shows, right? I think one of the things that Connect helps provide, and by eliminating this, is the most valuable resource to any business owner, time, right? We were on site rolling out a new large restaurant franchise up in the Midwest. And the day we went to do the rollout, the same individual had a plumbing issue the owner was trying to deal with and GM was trying to deal with. He had a bartender calling sick. He was short-staffed, so he was going to have to bartend that night. And then on top of it, he had 4 interviews set up through Indeed, all 4 no-call, no-showed. So, there's so much that owners and GMs are dealing with. They don't have time to also not have individuals show up. So again, if you can give them back a dozen hours in their work week, that's going to be a more efficient restaurant they can put in a really good place to be successful as well too. And I think one of our favorite stories is this large restaurant group that have been doing things the same way for the last 10 years until they started to roll out things out with Connect, our solution from a software, but also Taylor's team, the professional services around it. They went from 90% of their first round interviews no showing to 94% showing up. But of the 94% that showed up, they had a huge high level of quality from an engaged talent pool, and 65% of those individuals got offers. Of those 65%, 98% accepted. And that was all within the first 30 days. So change might seem scary and very different, but our team comes in with a very well-adapted way to make sure that we're not going to be disruptive. We're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and we really enable customers to have this change at a very quick rate. And what's funny is now we're being asked to present to all the owners of all these restaurants at their quarterly owners meetings, because now even 90 days in, they're seeing even higher results in that initial story from the first 30 days. So everything we're going to share with you today, you can easily take back and do yourself and see real transformative change within less than 30 days.
So I like that, real transformative change in less than 30 days. So one of the things that I've noticed, and I help a lot of franchise organizations and restaurant organizations. And again, let's go back to Connect is in Dallas. I'm in Dallas, and Dallas is full of franchise and restaurant organization headquarters, right? And so going way back, I think the first restaurant group I ever worked with was Yum Brands and Taco Bell. And so years ago, let's call it 15, 14 years ago, something like that, I counseled Taco Bell to think about using QR codes for hiring. And I can't say I'm directly responsible for this, but a year or so later, little tripods with QR codes started showing up next to all the cash registers saying we're hiring. And then they started showing up on the wall outside of the restaurant where you would stop to place your order in the drive-through. We're hiring, big QR code, right? So super cool.
Yeah, we actually, just to touch on the QR codes, we actually did that for a restaurant here in Dallas. We created these little inserts with a QR code, and every box of pizza that went out that door had the little QR code of their careers page, customized careers page. And, anybody looking for a job could just scan the code and find all their open positions right here in Dallas. So it was great and something, that's different and stands out from other restaurants in the industry.
I love that, and I think it's great because I don't think it's limited to Texas as well too, right? I think cool is we have a lot of customers in the Midwest and other locations where same thing, right? The actual restaurant doesn't have to be a fast food restaurant. It could be a pizza delivery place. It could be an actual bar or restaurant. But we have a lot of restaurant franchises that will literally have it in multiple locations. They'll have it on the rotating, ads that are on the wall, the digital ads they have. But they also found a lot of success on all the to-go orders like you talked about, Taylor, which was something really cool. I loved when I heard you telling me about that when I started. But also just having a QR code right at that to-go stand. So as you're coming waiting to get your food, hey, do you know somebody? We're always hiring. We've got openings from, line cook to assistant GM. But it really puts it in a place of like, hey, you know what? If it's easy, I'll do it, right? No one's going to take an application and take 30 minutes to fill it out. But if I can just scan my phone and while I'm waiting for my order, upload a profile, like how easy is that? That just makes it very simple barrier to entry to apply for a position.
Yeah, and I think in a moment I'll share what a Connect digital profile looks like. We can share mine. I was able to create one in literally about 15 seconds because I do have access to my let's call it a resume. It's not really a resume for me, but on my phone. And so I uploaded that, and boom, it creates this beautiful digital profile that I can share with any employer. But we know that QR codes are now not limited to restaurants, right? Home Depot, Lowe's, everybody uses them to direct people to hiring. I have been fortunate to work with TGI Fridays and Pizza Hut and a dozen more restaurant organizations. And one of the things that they all have an issue with is they are using most of the time two different systems for hiring for corporate employees, which are the smaller part of the organization, versus their hourly employees. And most of the time their giant applicant tracking system that they use for corporate hiring doesn't work very well for hourly hiring. So they're using two different systems. A lot of them are starting to use maybe a chatbot or something like that as their second system. But all of these things tend to take months to implement. And one of the things that I noticed about Connect is it takes 48 hours to implement. What's going on with that, Andre?
I think it's the magic of Taylor and team, really. But, you know, it's the barrier to entry, right? So I think, you know, when I was a buyer the first 10 years leading, you know, global TA teams for companies like Salesforce, it was always a 6 to 9 month implementation. And then when I went to work for JobVite, Silk Road, the larger companies, it would still be sometimes, you know, 9 months or a year. What I loved about what Michael Nadeau and the team had built at Connect was a very simple solution that could be set up within 48 hours. So we can very quickly stand the solution up. You can start getting candidates within 2 days of signing with us. And the beauty is you can also have a branded career site ready to go with your social media embedded into it. That's part of the magic of Taylor and her team to get that ready to go. But the great thing is there's no like, oh, this is going to be great. And then, you know, in 6 months when we're ready to go, it's like, no, this is a system built for the modern hiring team and to let them be ready to go very quickly and to getting results within the first 72 hours, which I have not seen that anywhere else. And I think it's a really big draw for what they offer here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. In fact, it's fairly amazing, I'll say. So, and kind of unheard of. There's not a system that is up and running that I know of in 48 hours or less. And maybe that's the extreme. Maybe we should tell everybody a week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Michael De La Rey is cringing like, okay, everybody's being promised. We said a week. That was short. But I think, you know, it goes back to like, the speed really ties well to restaurants, right? Think back, I'm going to date myself, but the old thing of like, you know, Domino's Pizza in 30 minutes or less, right? Everything about a restaurant is how can you be as operationally as efficient to get really quality food out to your customers, whether that's in the restaurant or whether that's in your to-go or delivery systems, which became huge during the pandemic and after the pandemic. So, you know, we marry very well with the ability to have like, you know, custom outreach, custom everything with speed, which is very similar to what our restaurants are trying to do as well too. So I think the two marry very well together because the speed that they want to go with, we're ready to go that speed and then some.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen real quick. And let's just make sure I can do this properly. I think I can. I'm pretty good at it.
You can do it.
Okay.
Craig.
Right. I'm going to share the screen.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I think it's interesting, right? If somebody's going to apply for a job as a server at a restaurant, they take a half day to do that. If they go to 4 restaurants and spend 45 minutes doing a paper application each one, they'll take their paper application, they'll put it in the same giant, file cabinet they've had for 20 years. If they go to a restaurant using Connect and they're like, oh, don't worry about doing a paper application, take 30 seconds, scan this QR code, do your digital profile. And then as they're driving home, they've already got a message from the restaurant GM or owner saying, hey, thank you so much for applying. I love this. I love that. I would love to hear your authentic story. Tell us a little bit more about that. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter if your franchise is not as well known as some of your competitors. If you have a world-class candidate engagement and are able to reach them very quickly with the personalized message, you're going to elevate yourself up. So by the time your competitors have reached out for a first-round interview, you might already have that person hired. I think that's just really powerful.
That's right.
We hear that over and over of like, gosh, I fill out so many paper applications and finally with Connect, I instantly had a video of a human that got back to me. And then I had somebody, use my name in a message, and I had this. It's like all of a sudden, after like months of feeling like just a piece of paper or a resume or a number, they actually felt like a real human being. And so even the folks we hear that don't get hired have such a positive experience with the candidate experience. They're like, hey, I didn't get the job, but I'm so excited to apply again for a future position. They don't walk away saying, oh, I don't like restaurant X because they didn't hire me. Instead, they're like, I wish I would have got hired. I'm really interested in that. And we've also found ways to engage those folks to turn them into customers as well, too, which we can talk about later.
Yeah, so this is not the network.connected.com site. This is my truck. I'm going to show you how to get there. This is my truck. That's Grapevine Lake. I live at Grapevine Lake in Texas, not too far from Heath.
I missed that truck. It's been 2 weeks, Greg. I can't wait to.
That's right.
So this week.
Any candidate can go to network.connected.com, and Connect will walk them through how to build out a profile in seconds, right? Literally, you just upload your resume and it builds this beautiful digital profile for you. So there are a few ways to get there. You can go to network.connected.com, CNECTED, or you can just go to the job description of any network customer and click to apply. All the job descriptions come with these AI skills matching little bubbles that pop up, and they come with a message from the hiring manager, which is pretty cool. But if you click to apply, and it takes you to your profile, Google My Profile, so you can have simple Connect network prospect or participant. So I can send a different profile to a different company. All I have to do is share, create a link, and I use that link to get to my PDF version of my digital profile, which is kind of a beautiful thing that mimics this, but I can also decide what parts of my profile I want to share. So for instance, if I didn't want to share my first impression video or my references right up front, or even my education, I could change those things before I save to share it and preview what that PDF will look like. Okay. And this is something that you could share with any ATS. This is fairly ATS proof, but the end result is, this beautiful thing that has all the skills in my history that match up, right? And then on the employer side, we're just going to use this example. As an employer, your candidates are all here, and they've got this matching score that has not only to do with their skills that match the job, but also how filled out is their profile. Did they do a video? How quickly did they respond to any questions you've asked them or any information you've requested? So they can actually shore up their matching score. And when you share a candidate's profile with a manager, you can also kind of check what you think might engender bias. You can say, all right, I don't want to share the video. In fact, I don't want to share the candidate's education and other things. I want this to be kind of a blank slate for this manager and just for them to see the skills match. Or, you know what, the skills don't match that great. I think the manager would like to see this person speak about it because they're really good on camera. And then you could share like that. And you can share it with anyone inside or outside of your organization, just like a candidate can. It's pretty great. And then you can move your candidates easily through the process, right, to any swim lane. And then you can also have this great in-app discussion with your candidate. And I can say, all right, so I want to send a note to Allie on video and say, Allie, that was a great video that you just posted. And thanks for answering these questions. Can you tell me a little bit more about this and that? If you do it on a video, that'd be great, because I'd rather hear you talk about it than see you write about it. Right. And so I've just used her name. I've done this great job of engagement, and the back and forth is very quick, almost like a Snapchat discussion with your prospect. So I love all that.
We recently hired a data reporting analyst intern, and he'd had months of going through other systems that are popular on college campuses with zero results back, right? And so he told the story. We were out there on his first week when we were in Dallas 2 weeks ago, but he was like, to see a video from the hiring manager and you have him use my name was one of the most powerful things that has happened in my job search. And it's a little thing, but that personalization, just to know that a human was reviewing and wanted to ask a few questions, he was happy to go through everything. And instead of taking, 3 weeks to hire him, he was able to go through the entire process in 5 days. So yeah, I think that powerful level of just engaging, because I think all of us have friends that have been looking for jobs, in the last year or so. And I think in general, we would probably hear unilaterally, it's not been a pleasant experience for them, right? They go into the black hole Taylor talked about, the idea that you go into this black hole and you're telling your friends you've applied for a lot of jobs, but you're not hearing anything back. Just to have that engagement and to have it continuous through the platform, whether you hire them or not, you really tend to find advocates for your brand because they are just thankful that they had an experience with you that was unlike any other.
Yeah. So Taylor, talk about the engagement real quick with Connect. So what I just did was, I didn't really do it, but sent Allie a video saying, "Hey, this is great, thanks." Right, and I could do that within seconds of her applying, and then I can keep that conversation going so that there's not that void that usually happens when you submit a job application.
Correct. So before I jumped into the communication, one beautiful aspect of digital profiles that we see is a huge benefit for restaurant job seekers is first impression videos on the digital profile. So this is a way for the candidates to, showcase their skills, experiences, personalities, just kind of explain how they'd be a good fit for the role. We had a job open for one of our clients. They were hiring for bartenders. And we had a candidate come in and, they didn't have the best work experience. They had a couple years or so, but what made them stand out from the other candidates was their video. And they were in the back, mixing up these cocktails, showing their skills. And, that ended up them landing the job just off that video. And so just giving the candidates an opportunity to, just showcase their personality and skills in a way that, the traditional paper resumes can't do has just been huge. So when they do, apply with that first impression video or digital profile, and then employers are able to respond asynchronously, it has just been a game changer for, reducing no-shows and, like I said earlier, eliminating the dark hole that all candidates know and hate, to be quite honest.
I love that story, Taylor. And I think it captures on a really big element, right? We're not only tracking folks that are going to be a match for the role by their skills, we're tracking engagement, right? If 1,000 people apply to your restaurant position, do you want to go through all 1,000 if number 897 is the best one? Or do you want to give them a little prompt of like, hey, take 30 seconds and share your story? Now, you might only get, 15 that do that. But again, take the 15 that show the engagement level and start there. And that story you told, I love that story because I know she was a low match on the AI when she applied, but she was a recent graduate. And so, yeah, of course she's like, but she did the video. And the owner said, you know what? She did a video. I'll look at her and the other candidates that did a video. And when he saw her video of like, hey, I know I don't match on paper perfectly, but I know my way around a bar. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated from this university. Here's my favorite drink. Here's how I'd make it. She's now one of their most popular employees. Not only does she do her job well, she packs the restaurant and bar whenever she works her shift. So, that's somebody in a traditional sense of just a resume would have got automatically screened out saying that she wasn't a fit. Instead, they've hired a game-changing employee that's bringing business into their restaurant. So,
yeah, that's awesome. And also going back to the communication tools, with the digital communication, we can assess a candidate's interest and commitment before even scheduling an interview. So we know how busy restaurants can get. So, this saves the hiring manager a bunch of time. If the candidate's not replying within a set time frame, it could be a strong indicator that they might not be the right fit for the role. So, this data-driven approach just allows us to filter out these less engaged candidates and allows the busy hiring manager to focus time on those who are more responsive and qualified for the role.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so let's talk about what do we mean by asynchronous video? That's a back and forth conversation. Candidate has an opportunity not just to go 3, 2, 1, go answer these questions, but to really type out what they want to say, have a conversation, have the manager reply back from basically anywhere from their phone, and give the candidate the idea that, hey, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just having a conversation here. And yeah, while I do want to present myself well, I can also reply from wherever I am. And so the idea of know where you stand wherever you're standing, I mean, we really stick to that. We want candidates to feel free to reply from wherever they are, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea that we have. The other day, I was in the waiting room at my dentist office, right? So I was like, okay, I had some applicants that applied for a position. I was able to real time reply to them, and again, let them know, hey, I'm the dentist office. Going to give you a quick reply. I'd love these couple questions to be answered, but I'll reply back from from the soccer field with my kids or football field with my kids. Like, I think it's important for us to personalize ourselves too, and say, hey, we don't, you don't have to come into a formal setting to answer all these questions. Like, we just want to hear the answers. We just want to hear more about you. It's not going to be during a set time frame. For restaurant folks, one of the best answers they get are going to be when somebody ends a shift, right? They end a shift, they say, hey, I'm getting back to you. Here's my answer to your questions. We'd love to talk to you more. And it lets them real time kind of meet the company, meet the future candidates on their own time and let them have that control. But I do love the fact that Connect makes it so easy. There's a lot of platforms where you get one shot, so candidates get nervous. I'm like, oh, I've never done this before. And if I don't get it right, I get one shot. Connect lets you record and re-record and re-record. And we even put a teleprompter in front as well too. So folks can just type out exactly what they want to say so they can communicate it, and they can send the best version of themselves over, right? So they're not stuck saying, oh, if I don't get this right the first time, I'm already going to be nervous. We take a lot of the worry and anxiety out of the interview process, which altruistically I think is really powerful.
I think that's the beauty too of how mobile friendly our platform is. We do have a network app as well as an employer app. So, when these restaurants are hiring those hourly workers, candidates are able to see their application in real time based on the app and get feedback and notifications on their applications from, hiring managers wanting to get to know them and, facilitating that digital communication. So that's been great as well.
So that's an important point, right? Candidates get updated whenever some activity happens on the employer end with their profile. And so with most systems, that's really not a thing, right? You don't get constant notifications about something's going on, something's happening. And you don't have to reply with video, right? You can just have a texting conversation back and forth with your manager, or the manager can just say, hey, I'm requesting these things. Can you send them to me? And so like all of this stuff happens very quickly within the app, which is a web app. So it doesn't really take up any room on your phone. And it's beautiful on both desktop and mobile. But the mobile part is beautiful because really you can do it on the go wherever you are.
Yeah, and I can speak for this new generation that most of our time, or free time at least, is spent on our phones. So it's been a game changer. I know for recent college grads and everyone in between. So,
it's interesting. There's data, and we know probably just by the experience of what we've done ourselves, you actually do end up looking at jobs at night, like when you hit the bed. You've got most people these days, it feels like, have an hour of phone time in bed before they turn the light off. Right?
Guilty. Our family's guilty of that. Yes.
Yeah, this is what my wife calls TikTok time. And so, but you look at your updates and your notifications, and what has LinkedIn sent me or Indeed, and occasionally you end up applying to jobs at that point. If you had multiple profiles saved in your Connect app that were for various levels or different types of jobs that you could just send with a click of a button to turn on or off certain features to certain employers, I mean, I can't imagine how easy that would have been if and when I was ever applying to jobs back in the day.
Yeah. And think about if you're a hiring manager or an owner or even a recruiter, you've got all these PDFs coming in, but you get one with Taylor's video on there of her saying why she's a great fit. And you're like, wow, this is awesome. I can really see why everybody wants to work with Taylor. I can see why she's got a great work history. Wow, she lights up the screen. She really has that. So it really gives you a chance to kind of stand up and stand out, which I think, again, reinforcing Taylor, this is what everybody's doing, right? The idea that we Connect was built with an idea, not on the past, but on the future of like, where do we see things in 5 and 10 years, and staying ahead of that wave and making sure that we give a great experience to those individuals as well too. So I love hearing all the customer stories from you and all the things that are happening.
Yeah, I think the digital communication can even go a step back to the careers pages and how important it is for franchise owners and restaurants in general to have this strong employer brand, and a customized career page really is a powerful tool in this effort. We have an about the company video that the hiring manager or owner or even employee can go on and add. And, we really encourage our clients to kind of make these fun, showcase your company culture and why applicants would want to work for you and your particular restaurant. And I think this has just been another game changer for our clients, just giving a highlight into what it looks like on a day-to-day at your restaurant, and just bringing that daily life into the process, making it more human, like we keep talking about, which has been great.
And I'll give you a shout out, Taylor. So when I first met with Taylor, when I joined officially in January, one of our earliest one-on-ones was setting goals, and she wanted to do more on social media. And she's now become like the teacher of so many social media best practices. And she's driven all of her LinkedIn impressions and engagements through the roof. But now what's really exciting is taking what she's learned and applying it to our customers. So one of the things that we hear back from our restaurant owners and their teams, one of the earliest things that we do once we set up Connect is we'll actually do a training with the team. If they can make it live, great. If not, we'll record it. But in like 15 minutes, we'll give them some social media best practices where now all of the employees can bookmark the Connect app at the career site they have on their phone, but also show them how to share it on social media. We'll give them some easily already canned posts. We'll give them free social media messages we know will do well. And we just kind of turn them loose. And whether they're at a barbecue talking to a friend that just moved there, that could be a great fit for the server position. They can hand their phone over. It's so simple. They can text a friend, or they can easily share stuff on social. But now we're starting to see a spider web of the network of all of the employees really bringing in high levels of quality as talent from a world of spending thousands of dollars on Indeed to have 1,000 applicants to maybe make one hire, to now having the employees spider web out and reach out to their contacts that are really trusted. It's been wonderful to see the transformation that occurs. But I think that social aspect is so key among not only the ownership group, but also evangelizing all the employers as well too. It gives you a really cool group to work with.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest positive changes we've seen, in this past year is our targeted social media campaigns. I touched on a little bit earlier how this new generation is on their phones, or I guess all of us are on our phones. But, having these social media campaigns pushed out into the ethos has been huge and has significantly increased the quality of candidates and reduced the time it takes to fill positions. Just providing that personalized careers page and digital communication. So.
Awesome.
All right, so this just in. This is really exciting. We've got two different links that you can use to basically get to the same form. So you can go to bit.ly/connectlive or bit.ly/connectednow, and connect is CNECT. All right, and we're not only going to give you the opportunity for a $100 Amazon gift card or a free ticket to TalentNet Live November 8th. You can get details on that by going to talenttexas.com. That's at Lennox headquarters in Richardson, Texas. There'll be about 200 talent acquisition professionals, small business owners, hiring managers, and talent professionals. But we will also give you, if you book a demo for Connect, a free copy of my book, Hiring Humans. What about that? Look it up. Hiring-humans.com. Boy, that's a $20 value right there.
And a great read, and it captures a lot of the best practices to be successful. So I have that in my travel bag whenever I'm on the road. It's awesome. So it's a good read and a reread. Yeah, it's right behind it.
That's it right there. Hiring Humans.
Backpack
Yeah.
right.
That's right. So this has been a great little snapshot of what the Connect app will do for you as not only a candidate, but as a business owner or hiring manager. We're going to call it a lightweight ATS with full functionality of an ATS. It could sit in front of your larger applicant tracking system if you have Workday or something like that, even Greenhouse, you name it. If it doesn't have, the perfect candidate experience for hourly hiring, right? And it's not easily accessible with a good candidate experience and a fast application plus knockout questions and easy way to communicate quickly back and forth with candidates. You could easily apply the Connect app right in front of that, do an easy integration and have a wonderful experience all the way around. Or you could use it completely as your sole experience for applicant tracking without the need for another system. You could easily integrate it to your payroll or HRIS system and have that be your standalone process for candidate and applicant intake. So all these things are possible. We've got this wonderful customer success team that will help you to boost your jobs and get candidates flowing in the door. And it's a really cool, fun experience. Again, that can be set up in a week or less. We're going to say a week or less.
Say a week or less. I think that's what'll make that Michael sleep sounders. But yeah.
All right. So I want to say a huge thanks to Andre and Taylor. Team, is there anything that you want to leave the audience with as we sign out?
Andre, you go for it.
Got two, so I'll go again after you, right? So I think, one of the things that I love hearing the most about all of our franchise owners and all of our customers, we hear feedback from them unilaterally that doesn't matter what the roles are, whether it's line cook, whether it's GM, they all say the same thing. Hey, when our candidates come in to interview for the face-to-face interview, they all say the same thing. We're not nervous. Now, why are they not nervous? We felt like we already got to know you through the process, the asynchronous video, but we also felt like you got to know us as well too, and you wanted to bring us in. And I think just the idea of taking that anxiety off of a workforce that's really nervous right now with everything going on, I think that is a beautiful thing that we give back that you can't really measure. But again, the idea that the folks are able to have that authentic experience and then again come in and just have the conversation and be excited to work for you is a really powerful thing that we see.
Yeah, I think too that sometimes at first we have some clients that are hesitant about the platform with these hourly workers, but we have proved over and over again that that is not a thing to be worried about. People love the platform. They love the digital profiles. They love the ability to upload a first impression video. They love the feedback. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I think the personalized communication and just the platform as a whole has been huge for restaurant owners and job seekers as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. We'll do it again sometime soon. This video will be here forever, and we'll be sharing bits and pieces of it over the socials over the next couple of weeks. And feel free to jump back and use that code anytime and let us know if you'd like to set up a demo, and we'll get you a copy of Hiring Humans and entered for $100 Amazon gift card or a free ticket to TalentNet. Use code TalentNet for that, or code CONNECT to be entered for the gift card, CNECT. And we will look forward to seeing you next time. Great to see you both. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day.